The second assessment that you're required to do is to submit a student artifact. Because remember, you're actually going to do this PBL with your students. So you're going to create it, and then you are going to actually implement it in your classroom, and then you're going to submit stuff to kind of show that you've done it and you've done it well. So the first one that you're going to submit is a student artifact of their critique. When you submit something, please include an artifact, image, video, student work sample, etc. of your students critiquing each other's projects. This could be just a picture of students kind of looking at something and checking off things on the rubric. It could be a video of a student discussion, could be an audio recording of a student discussion, could be a student work sample like a rubric that a student created and made notes on and annotated, any of that stuff. Basically, you just want to show to evidence that meaningful student critique was embedded into your PBL and was used to improve the overall project. So you're just going to want to make sure and demonstrate that, hey, my students actually did this and their critiquing was meaningful. They weren't just jumping through hoops. They weren't just doing it to get it done. They were actually having meaningful input. Just embed one of those, just a video or an image or a student work sample, something. The next one is an artifact of the final project. What did students create? What did they do? This could be a video, a picture, a student work sample, same as the last one, of their final project. If they made a presentation, record it and submit your recording. If they made a poster, submit the poster. If they made a report, submit the report. Submit a video of them presenting their report. Whatever they did as their final project, capture it and submit it. Make sure that it evidences best practices such as being authentic, having recursive improvement, public audience, etc. Next one is the student final reflection. This is where after the whole thing is over and the students have submitted their final projects, you've all critiqued them and given them their final feedback on it, they've got their grade and everything. Submit an artifact, such as a video or a student written reflection, of one or more of your students reflecting on the project as a whole. This is where you want to make sure that your students actually meaningfully reflect on it. Make sure that they talk about authentic learning, whether maybe 21st century skills, maybe metacognition. It depends on what your students learn, on their individual learning and what they got from it. But make sure that they're actually providing meaningful reflection. And finally, the last one is where you will reflect. You're going to do it in a little bit of a different format. You're actually going to make a discussion board post. After completing your PBL project with your students, please post a response to the following questions in this discussion board. So when you click on it, it's going to look like this, and you can write a comment, or I'm sorry, it'll be down below, but you'll be able to post a comment. You are encouraged to respond to your coworkers and offer suggestions, constructive criticism. You're not required to do that, but if you see somebody you can help, why not? I mean, we're all in this together. Please be sure to support your conclusions with evidence from your experience. Make sure that you support your conclusions with evidence from your experience. It's highlighted in yellow for a reason. 4 questions. How successful was your project in increasing student learning outcomes, content, and 21st century skills? So if your students learn your content, say, it was awesome. They learned this skill and that skill and the other skill. I know this because, and then provide your evidence. What challenges did you experience with the design and implementation, and how did you overcome them? What problems did you have? You're going to have problems. All teaching is going to have some problem or another to it. And then how did you overcome them? How did you fix these problems? Or were you unable to? If you were unable to, maybe suggest something why. First off, suggest why you were unable to, because sometimes you don't think of something and it breaks it. And then you have to kind of say, okay, y'all, hold on. I'm gonna have to fix this and come back the next day with a solution or something, or a change or something like that. What could you change about your PBL to make it more effective in increasing student learning outcomes? How could you make it better? This is kind of where one of the most important parts of the reflection is that we're always doing things better. We as teachers always want to try and do things better. We do something once and say, okay, that was great. I could make it better by doing this. Or that didn't work all that well because this, that, and the other. Now how can we make this better? And then finally, what are your final thoughts about this experience? Did you like it? Is it something you're going to do more often or less often? Or did you not like it? Specifically, what did you like? What didn't you like? So on and so forth. What are your final thoughts? Your criteria for this content development, basically, did you have a main idea and support with evidence? And then did you answer all the questions with some depth to them? Make sure that you've got some depth. Demonstrate that you actually reflected on this and didn't just, they're telling me to do this, so I'm just going to write down a sentence or two. actually reflect. This is to try and help you be a better teacher and help you teach your students even better. So if you have any questions about the assessments or what's required of you, please make sure that you put a comment and we'll be happy to help.